Hello, and welcome to Two Therapists and a Microphone. I am Dr. Harrison Davis.
And I'm Dr. Aisha Dickerson.
Two Therapists and a Microphone is a show about mental health, relationships, and social issues that personally affect you. We broadcast live every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. on the Black Media Network.
We are two licensed psychotherapists with decades of clinical experience, and we want to hear from you. You can get in contact with us on our website, or you can put things in the comments down here on Facebook. We want to hear about what's going on with you, and we'll answer your questions live or later on. It's up to you.
Absolutely. And so on the website, www.2therapists.com, you can always click on Ask Two Therapists, and we will answer your questions here on air. Let us know what's going on with you. So today, we don't have any guests today, but we're our own guests
Yeah.
today. I like that. We're our own guests, and we're going to talk about some topics that are important to us, and they're going to be a little bit relevant to what we usually talk about, and we're going to ask each other questions and give some opinions about some things that are going on. So, Aisha, would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can start first because
Okay.
I actually thought about you today when I saw this post from a Facebook friend of mine. He asked, and he's an adult man, he has a daughter, and he asked the question of all the women who are friends with him, what was the first age that you were approached in a sexual manner by a male?
Mm,
And I mean, it really got me thinking because women were posting, it seemed like the average age was 11 or 12. And both of us have
damn.
children that are about that age, but it made me
I
think
have you
like,
and I both have 12-year-olds.
right,
Yep.
exactly. But when I actually stopped and thought about it, I realized that I'd say probably that was about the same age for me. And so it's also something I brought up in my group today with my supervisees, just what's going on with the teenagers and preteens and stuff that they work with. And what I'm learning is that we already know about these apps, TikTok and all that, but
Yep.
there are other apps that I don't think we're as familiar with.
Like what?
So the first one I heard about was something called Omegle, and
Omegle.
Omegle, Omegle,
Okay.
and it's just like a group chat thing
Okay.
where people just talk to other random folks. Sometimes they play video games
Strangers.
with them. Well, yes, strangers, random people that they have interest with. And I know, and so of course the first thing I did was I texted my children and asked them, you all don't have some app called Omegle, do you?
Hmm.
And I was first shocked by the fact that they didn't know what it was and that I didn't know what it was, but I was pleasantly surprised that they didn't have it for the following reasons. My 12-year-old said no, it's inappropriate, and also people get kidnapped and stuff. And
You trained her well.
my 16-year-old said no, it's a horrible sight. Do not ever go in there. People get sex trafficked and kidnapped or either killed. In which case my 12-year-old answered, glad we're all in agreement. So it just makes me wonder,
Mm,
you know, that's one app that's kind of out there that people know about, but it's got me thinking about how much people monitor their kids'
yep.
phone usage while also trying to, here's the new thing I hear, not invade their privacy. Like that's
Almost
foreign
cursed.
to me.
Now,
Right. That's
let,
foreign to me. Like
let,
not invade your privacy. What is
well,
that?
this, and I'm glad you brought this topic up. And for the people listening, Dr. Aisha and I, we're surprising each other with the topics today. So I had no idea what she was going to talk about. But this is a coincidence because in Atlanta, about a month ago on the local news, she thought he was a 13-year-old boy. She met up with him and she was harmed. She was sexually assaulted,
Mhm.
but luckily he was found. And it underscores what happens when a parent doesn't check to see what the kids are doing. And my daughter, she doesn't play Roblox as much anymore,
Mhm.
but I just asked her about it. And I'd like you, I trained her. She doesn't talk to strangers. She'll play with them on Roblox, but she
Mhm.
doesn't give off any contact information. But that just goes to show you how scary this thing is. And with the kids, and luckily, that Roblox account is my account. I just I just let her use it.
Well, we
It
talked
has
about
her
that last
name on it.
week.
Yep, yep.
We have a TikTok account and we could share an Instagram account. And I don't know what would be the appropriate age where you don't do that, because Instagram and TikTok allow children to have accounts at 13. And I
Yep.
kind of still monitor my 16-year-olds, but it's got me wondering with her about to be 17 soon and eventually going to college. At what
Mhm.
point do I take my hands off of it, knowing that her prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed until she's 24, so she might still do some real stupid stuff on social media. Um, I'm afraid to take my hands completely off of it.
That's a good question, because I don't know. You and I are both learning this together. But you got an older daughter,
Hmm.
you know, as also recently, um, my daughter came to me and asked me, "What is this?" on her phone, and someone, a little sixth grader, sent her the little emoji of an eggplant.
Oh no. Oh, she done got the eggplant emoji.
She doesn't know what it is. She doesn't have a
Okay.
clue.
And you didn't tell her?
I said, I was a little bit shocked. I said, "Who sent you that?" In my very nice, soothing voice. "Who sent you that? That's amazing." It was a little sixth grade boy. He's a year older. He got kept back years ago
Uh-oh.
from our old school,
Okay.
and I just said, "Oh, that's a fruit." That just means that he likes to eat fruit. There are vegetarians, and there are
Hmm.
people who only eat fruit. So I said, "But you need to tell him that he needs to stop texting you so late at night. If you don't tell him, I'm going to tell him. And if he continues doing it, I'm going to contact his mom and his dad and talk to him about that particular text that I saw."
Hmm.
So this is interesting that you bring this up, because I'm learning what to do, but it sounds like you have really trained your girls well.
Well, you think you do. And so my children have asked questions about things like that, and it's been a point of contention sometimes with my ex, what I tell them and what I don't tell them. And
What
my
do you tell them?
well, so because my philosophy is, let me tell you before your little stupid friends tell you.
Oh.
If you ask the question, I'm going to answer the question for you. So I guess an example would be um, on the radio, they mute out, I'll say most words, but even they let
Yeah.
some profane words come through. I want to say Cardi B had that song out, well, her and Megan Thee Stallion, that WAP song. And she
Yes.
said something about touching that little dangly thing in the back of her throat.
Oh
And
my.
my little one said, "What does that mean? What, what's the dangly thing in the back of her throat?" And so I just, explained what that was, the dangly thing in
Oh,
the back
okay.
of her
Okay.
throat first, yeah. But then
Isn't that
she
a
did.
tonsil?
It's a
Well, I know what you're
at the
talking about.
time
Go ahead.
at the time I knew what the term was, but it just slipped my mind right now. If
Gotcha.
you're watching, then you know what the term is for that dangly thing in the
Send it
back of
to
your
us.
throat. Yeah, let us know. We need to know. And then but she did have the question, like, what does that mean? Why is she saying she wants him to touch that? And I have to admit, I explained it to her. And why, what, yeah, I was like, this is what she
The
means.
12-year-old?
Yeah, this is what she means. This is why, what. And then she was like, why would somebody do that? And I was like, well, it's like a conversation that just would never end. But whenever she asked the question, I just continued to answer. She asked another question, and I answer again as
Wow.
truthfully as possible, and always
Wow.
using the correct anatomical
Terms.
terms,
Mhm, mhm.
because she's in sixth grade and there are seventh and eighth graders who know and will tell her. And I don't need them trying to explain nothing to her,
I see.
or incorrectly explain to her why it's done, or all that. I'm not the one for that. So
Wow.
it's an uncomfortable conversation, but it's a conversation I feel like I want to have.
What does your ex say? What was his position?
Um, that I'm giving her too much information.
This may be a gender thing. I just cannot imagine. I hear you. I understand. I actually understand your rationale too.
Mhm.
You wanted to hear it from you, the parent, about what certain things mean, and you go a little further than me. No, a lot further.
Well, I just think that's one thing he could say was an issue, but on the flip side, like, I'm like, the kid and see you bring girls in and out the house anyway, and I
Mm.
had to explain that, so I might as well explain this too.
So she's a little bit more aware of sex. Uh,
Uh, a little bit. I want to say, hopefully enough that she's afraid,
yeah,
and
yeah,
also that she understands that there's so much more that goes into it than what they say in the songs. I mean, I
yeah.
made it clear, like you'll have girls and my oldest, not you'll have girls that will talk about having sex and all of this. And I said,
Mhm.
know that the first time it hurts, it's horrible, there's blood, it's painful, feel like you're dying. And she's like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
Oh, so
So
you're bolder than I am. My daughter heard some song on the radio. I forgot what it was, and she asked me one day, what is okay? What's the word? Pissy. I said pissy. What is that? I had to ask her the context, and
oh no.
and some boy said it at school. You know what I told her? I said that's what some people call a cat. It's called a pussy cat.
Harrison.
I didn't know.
Harrison, what?
But I did go back to her later, thinking along the lines of you. I said, no, she's 12, she's in the sixth grade. I just never imagined having that type of conversation with her at the sixth grade. But I had to let her know. We called it. We taught her it's the JJ. That's the term we use. From when she was little, and of course, like you teaching the girls, don't let anybody touch you down there. We call
Right.
it a JJ. If something that somebody does, you come and let us know. So she knew about
Mhm.
all that. But I had to let her know that that was a derogatory term
Yes.
for the JJ, and you might hear a lot of boys talk about that at school. And she said some boy has said something like that. So I hear you. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I could have gone as far as you did.
I just don't want anybody else to go further than
I
I
got
did.
you.
I don't want them to be able to incorrectly explain
Yep.
anything. And I'm always I won't use the word frightened, but I'll go with it, frightened that
Yeah.
they're going to hear about something before I get a chance to tell them about it. So I try to,
Yeah.
if it
Yeah.
comes up, hey, it's the perfect time for us to talk. I mean, because the average
Yeah.
age that a child, according to the research I read, that a child is even exposed to pornography is 10. So that
Mm.
means 9, 10, 11 year olds have seen pornography. So if
Yep.
you hear the word porn,
Yep.
let me go ahead and tell you what porn is before you see it. Before
Yep.
somebody says, "Do you want to see porn?"
Yep.
And so you already know what it is, and then no, you don't want to see it, and here's
Yep.
why.
Yeah, I've heard that from some clients and their kids around that age, and they discover it. Yeah, I put some locks on
Hmm.
the internet, her tablet, her phone, and the cable.
Hmm.
Now, but
But see, here's the thing, though, Harrison, you can do it. But it like my 12-year-old on the bus, somebody else
yep,
has a hold to the phone whose parents didn't put a lock on theirs, and now
yep,
they passing around the phone showing pornography.
yeah. Times are
They
different.
they get put off the bus, but the damage has been done already. By the
Absolutely.
time they get put off the bus, 10 more children have been exposed to pornography because somebody else won't put parental locks on their kids' phone because they don't want to invade their privacy.
Now that's some BS right there. Because
Okay.
coincidentally, a very good friend of mine is a school counselor
Hmm.
at my daughter's school, and yeah, I know his wife, and they know us and everything. He told me many of the middle schoolers are actually engaging in sex.
Hmm.
That is an issue. I was just surprised by that. And a seventh grader getting pregnant, you know,
Oh Lord.
by another boy,
Mm.
supposedly the first time they had sex, so all of that was amazing to me. But you are correct about what the kids have, uh, they're exposed to, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, it wasn't easy getting porn.
Oh
It
no, you
was
had to pay money for what was it? Cinemax or Playboy Channel or something, and you the
and it was
the
that
the magazines weren't right at the front in the gas station. They're
yeah,
right there in the
it
front. You had
wasn't
to get
easy.
somebody
It
to get it for
wasn't
you.
easy. Now it's in your hands. So the question I heard you ask, was about the kids' privacy. What's the line? What's the boundary? And I hear you, and really listening to it too.
Mhm.
Talking about you get in, you tell them because you don't want anyone else to hear them. But how far do we go in monitoring what they have access to? You
Mhm.
know, that's a very good question because I don't know how to answer it. I just put a bunch of locks on stuff, and you're right. There's a way to get around that, but at what
Yeah.
point do we ease up on that?
I don't know. So I'm gonna say college. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say I'll ease up on it
But
in
you're
college.
right. We
I
got we
said
got to.
I took the locks off of my oldest child's phone, so she didn't have the
Mhm.
child locks on her phone
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
But that's
That's
not to say
wise.
I don't go through the phone because
Yeah.
I do and I will.
Because we've
And
done a show before when we were doing the radio show on trafficking, sex trafficking.
mhm,
And I remember we had the guest on who talked about the men, they find the girls, they're vulnerable. And the way they lure them in is by promising them things. Nowadays, all the grown men need to do is pretend to be a 15-year-old boy
right.
and then making
Get
some
a little
promises.
Botox and post
A
a
new
old picture.
iPhone,
Yeah.
and it's a 15, 16-year-old girl who's a little bit naive, and they take them up on it. So I think that's wise. I check everything.
Hmm.
Email, school email.
Yeah.
I got her a Gmail because we gotta, do things on
Yeah.
that and stuff like that. She doesn't like it all the time, especially when I check her grades. I got the password for that.
Oh yeah.
I remember my
I know
mom.
you missed an appointment. I mean, I know you missed an assignment before you see you missed the assignment. I'm checking.
Well, I know when she knows. I find out when she finds out. But I remember my mom and dad told me when I was, I don't know, I guess that age, you don't have any privacy in this house. When I wanted to watch TV in my room and close the door and watch TV, and somebody swing the door open, you don't have any privacy.
Me too. I mean, my
I understand
knock
it.
knock is an announcement. Knock knock open. I'm
Knock.
if you change your clothes, see, and so I'm even a tad nicer. So I
Well,
know if you're changing clothes, you'll have the door locked or whatever, the same way you would the bathroom. But me
yeah,
me knocking is
yeah,
just to make you aware I'm walking in,
gotcha.
so you won't be startled. That's all. I'm just trying to keep from startling you.
I'll remember that. Yeah, she has to yell sometimes. I'm in her bathroom's adjacent to her room. I'm in the
Mhm.
bathroom. Like, okay. So great topic,
Thank you. Thank
Aisha,
you.
for bringing that up. I'm still
It's
thinking about it. We're
things
still
I think
learning.
about. It's scary.
And some of the parenting experts out there, you guys can let us know some tricks and some things that we should do with the girls. I understand parents of Black boys and Black teenagers, they have some specific issues and things that they got to teach them to keep them safe. Some of us who are parents of Black female kids, tweens, and teenagers, there are some things that we got to do, as I'm also noticing my daughter is beginning to get some attention
Hmm.
now when we go
Mm.
to the mall, and I guess they look like middle school boys, and a
Yeah.
couple of times high school, ninth grade or something. And they're beginning to look at her a little bit, and
Hmm.
we got to prepare them, for
Right.
what's. And I look at her like, "Why did you wear that shirt? Who bought you that shirt? Your mom bought you that shirt."
See, that's daddy mode. Now you talk about what
Hold
she's
it
got
up.
on. She's just
I'm gonna
cute.
talk to your mom when we get home. No, you're not wearing a shirt no more. So thank you, Aisha.
You're
So the
welcome.
topic I want to bring to today um, was is on triggering.
Okay.
And recently in Atlanta, on the news, I think 2 or 3 days ago, we discovered that Black Panther director Ryan Coogler
I saw that just today.
was arrested at a bank here in Atlanta, Bank of America,
Hmm.
for trying to withdraw $12,000 out of his own account.
Yeah.
And he filled out the deposit slip and I think swiped his ATM card and presented his driver's license.
Hmm.
Now, he was wearing a mask, which is common. And he wrote on there that he wanted them to be discreet about it because
Right.
he didn't want to walk out the bank with people watching them count out $12,000
Hmm.
and hand it to him. I don't blame the brother,
Right.
but the teller called the police.
I saw that and thought it
And
was like absolutely ridiculous. Like just check the information. And if you need to, I've even had someone asked it wasn't the bank, but it was somewhere else that had tight security to pull my mask down, and they looked, and they do that in the airport too. When you're
Okay.
walking through the
That's
airport.
reasonable.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. That
reasonable.
when we were going to Mexico, and they looked at the passport, they said, "Pull your mask down." They looked at me. They looked at the thing. I held my breath while I had my mask down, and we got through. But she just was like, "Oh, he's trying to steal his own
So the
money."
police showed up. The video was released today,
Hmm.
and the cops, the camera they were on them, and they asked them to get out of line in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And they unbuckled their gun holster. He turned around. He said, "What's going on?" He was startled,
Hmm.
and they put him in handcuffs in the bank
Yeah.
and walked him out to the police car and put him in the back seat, door open, and he had to explain to them he was withdrawing money from his own account, who he was. He told them to Google him.
Okay. How about that? You know
And
who I
that
am? Google me.
it's on the video. He said, "Google it, Google me," because the guy
Hmm.
didn't know who he was. But the most important thing was he said he was withdrawing money from his own account, and he
Hmm.
gave the teller his driver's license, and they just came up and embarrassed him. So as I was watching that, it was triggering for me, because I'm like, damn, right here in Atlanta, because you and
Right.
I both live in
Like you're supposed
Atlanta,
to be in Black Mecca. People
and
supposed to know that there are rich Black people down there.
but can you imagine getting arrested for robbery for trying to withdraw your own money from your own account, and you show them your ID and you insert your debit card and type in your PIN?
Everything goes through.
Everything goes through. But can you imagine that getting arrested and embarrassed
The
because you're
sad part
black?
is the sad part is I can. Like mentally, I'd be like, this sucks, but I'm not surprised
Mm.
that I want more information about the teller. Let's release her name.
So coincidentally, the report is she's black.
Nah. See, that's why I wanted more information. Because it's like I always want to believe. But I noticed in the report I read today that they did not mention that she was a white woman. And I said to myself, "Oh Lord, it's not a
Yeah, I
black
heard that on the
woman."
radio, the black radio stations here in Atlanta. They've been talking about it most of the day, and the fact that we sometimes treat each other worse than
Mm-hmm.
other folks,
Mm.
and people calling in saying they have to withdraw money because of their business and the
Yeah.
nature of their business, and when they go to white banks, the tellers know them, and they escort them to a private office, offer them coffee, donuts, and they quietly, discreetly give them their cash, in an envelope so that no one will see,
Yeah.
you know. But
Like
when you
that sounds like that would be proper protocol, right? When someone
yes,
withdraws a
yes,
certain amount of money, that I don't even want to be the one standing up there, because I always thought in the bank that they had to go. I'm pretty sure they do have to go elsewhere to get that amount of cash to give to the
yep,
person anyway. I've
yep.
always seen, and the manager has a key and they have to go back and get. So why not just go ahead and take them somewhere else, let them sit down and chill? And thank you for being a person with this much money in your bank that you can come. Like the least I could do is give you a cup of coffee.
And do it quietly, because
Yeah.
that's what they do with people who can withdraw and ask for cash, that type of money. But it looks like even when you are successful
Hmm.
and a black man and you have that kind of money in your account to withdraw,
Hmm.
some of us, we got to move stuff around. I got to get some over here and some over here,
Right.
but I doubt I will ask for 12,000 in cash. But it was triggering watching that, um, thinking we just cannot escape it,
Hmm.
even in a city like Atlanta, with a robust black population,
Hmm.
active black population, and they're shooting Black Panther 2 in Atlanta. They shot one
Right. Okay.
in
Like it's
Atlanta.
bringing money into the city. Like we should be aware that these things. I'm always, because my office is in downtown Atlanta, so I'm always aware, just looking around trying to see what celebrities I might see, or at a minimum, when I see them, I don't want to be surprised. I want to act cool, like I'm used to being around celebrities. I'm not gonna flip out about
I'm
you
not.
or whoever you.
I'm one of those silly people. Are you
I,
Will Smith?
and my kids hate that about me because I'll send them a text message. Hey, I saw whatever rapper today, and they're like, "And you didn't get a selfie?" Like, no, I'm trying to play it cool, so
Yeah,
I just am aware of my surroundings because of where I work, and it feels like I mean, I saw the address to where that Bank of America
yeah,
was. That he cannot have been the only celebrity that's come through that particular
yeah,
bank to
yeah.
do business. And the last thing I saw in that article was that he said he spoke with the people from Bank of America and he was satisfied
Yeah,
with
they
what the
apologize.
outcome was. I still want to know what the outcome was, but I know it's none of my business.
Yeah, it's
Why
not.
are you
I'm glad they
satisfied with?
acknowledged it,
Yeah.
and I read the apology. It was a good apology. They took full responsibility and
Hmm.
said that it couldn't happen. But what happened, and I hear you weren't surprised.
Mm-mm.
I'm surprised it happened to him.
Hmm.
The director of one of the most successful
Yeah.
movies in history. And it meant so much to a lot of people here in our country and globally. And here's the director
Hmm.
um, shooting in our city again. Part two. I know you don't recognize them, but I just thought protocol would mean if the ID checks and he has the money in the bank and
That's enough for me.
he typed in his pin and he wants it to be handled discreetly, why not just ask him to lower his mask to check his identity and then ask him, well, let's go do it over here, because that's what you deserve,
Hmm.
So all of that was triggering to me, thinking about the lack of privilege that we tend to have sometimes. And so with some interactions that I had with some people, I just was not feeling it. And I guess I'm one of those people, it weighs heavy on me sometimes when I read or hear something like that, because I'm thinking that could have been me.
Yeah, well, because it seems to me that the Taylor was just doing too much. They say doing she was just doing too much. Or maybe I would be lazy as a teller. I did work
Stereotyping.
well, just even calling the police. So I worked in banking for like less than 6 months. I was bad at it. It just wasn't for me. Customer service is not my thing. But if
Right.
someone came in, if someone came in and they're asking for $15,000 and they slide me a note saying, please do it discreetly. Even if I think they're robbing me, I'm like, I don't even know if this man has a gun. I'm not thinking about alerting the police. All I'm thinking is, okay, whatever, dude. Here's your 15, 12, $15,000. If it turns out that this was a fraud later on, it has nothing to do with me.
Yep.
My
Yep.
only job is to get you your money.
Yep.
And everything else checked out. It went this went beep, that went beep. You put the number in. Have a nice day. If you're
Yeah. But
committing the crime,
but I hear
but
you because it's just like you just said. Well, it's not the teller's money.
right. Like,
It's
look, Bank
not
of
your
America has
money.
insurance. Even if he was stealing the money, $12,000 is they will be okay
But she
without
was
that
willing to
12,000.
humiliate him. No
Mm.
gun. It's his account. He showed an ID, but she was more willing to protect that organization than the black man who was standing in front of him withdrawing $12,000 from his own account.
Mm.
So that's the thing that popped up for me today. And when those things happen like that, I'm like, damn, again, because that could, like I mentioned, it could have happened to me. I don't carry cash anymore, but when I go someplace, I want to be treated like other people with that type of
Yeah.
money. And apparently they were not willing to do that for him. So that was my topic. I was hoping to hear from some people to see how are they handling all of these triggers that are out there, because it's happening less often
Hmm.
and in the past, but there was a time, I think a year or two ago, every month or so, there was a shooting, a killing, those Karen videos, and here we are right here in Atlanta with somebody like Ryan Coogler with a hell of a lot of money,
Yeah. Yeah.
just trying to ask for some money. So anyway, that was my topic today, to see how we all handle things. But we are right out of time right now. Want to thank you guys for joining us on today's discussion. Hot topics, I think we can call it in the
Yeah. I
future.
like that.
Yeah, I
Hot
like
topics.
that. But I just want to remind you guys that we are airing live every Thursday on Our Black Media Network. And what is this? Try to have open conversations with those young students in my class at school. Sharon Butt said that. Will the city put some pressure on the bank for doing the unthinkable action? That'd be great if there's some type of consequence.
Bank of America is probably about to donate a whole lot of money to the
That's
movie.
what I was thinking.
But we'll see Bank of America in the background as, somebody swinging across. Like we see the random car placement, the code placement. They probably had this. He was like, oh, okay, you're going to give us $10,000 towards the movie. Okay.
Yeah, next year when they have the HBCU Football Championship Classic, it's going to be called the Bank of America
right.
HBCU Football Classic. That's what that's going to be. But I'm glad they took a full responsibility for it. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, so they tried to do something else, and they did.
So catch us every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Myself, Dr. Harrison Davis.
And Dr. Aisha Dickerson.
And check us out on our website, www.twotherapist.com. And you can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We will see you guys next time.
Like this.